gotta feed these viewers, huh? Oh, these PlayStation fans is not going to love this. They're not gonna love this. Watch this. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. What? Alright. Okay, you PlayStation fans, you're not even gonna like that. You're not even gonna love this. Listen to this. Watch this. You ever heard of a game called Twisted Metal? Twisted Metal. Yeah. Listen to this. New details emerge about Sony's canceled Twisted Metal live service game. Says here, according to details from a programmer who worked on it, the new Twisted Metal game would have been a third-party battle royale with vehicular combat. And it says Sony canceled Twisted Metal game, aka Project Copper, would emerge third-person cover shooter with gritty vehicular combat. New details about Sony canceled live service Twisted Metal game has emerged thanks to a programmer portfolio page. It says here, just a few years ago, Sony announced plans to launch 12 live service games by 2026. A new 12 live service games by 2026. It says here, a new Twisted Metal project was among these games. The next-gen Twisted Metal would be made for PS5 with online multiplayer, and it be developed by Fire Spirit. The Twisted Metal game was believed to be cancelled in February of last year. Now there's some update information about the project. A programmer has uploaded a brief description project, which had been in development at Fire Spirit and sounds suspiciously like a Twisted Metal game. Project Copper was a third-person vehicular action combat game. It was based on a classic IP owned by PlayStation, developed by Fire Spirit. PlayStation Studios. It had a third-person shooter mechanics wrapped with third-person vehicle combat, with objective of being the last one standing. Says here, Sony PlayStation game division has since aggressively slashed its live service plan in a bid to reduce costs and boost its operating margins. The company has not formally announced the Twisted Metal game, so technically it doesn't have reasons to comment on a cancellation. Sony, like the rest of the game industry, may be paring back until the monumental release of Grand Theft Auto 6, which is expected to uplift the entire console market in 2025. Says here, the figures show a clear reason why Sony would ever chase live service games, especially since for years it had to watch as just a handful of forever games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, and Genshin Impact funneled billions of dollars every year. And that is the end of that. Now, it says here, Sony would ever chase why Sony would ever chase live service games, especially since for years it had to watch as just a handful of forever games like Fortnite and Apex Legends. Impact funnel billions of dollars. Okay. Well, Twisted Metal as a live service game canceled. That could have been a live service game. That could have been a live service game on Twisted Metal. I mean, because you have different. Because I mean, if you remember when you were playing Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 1 and say PlayStation 2, it was. I mean, you were controlling your own vehicle, but the computer was doing its own thing. So to go live service now, it means that instead of watching the computer doing its own thing, you will be playing against other players worldwide. So Twisted Metal would have been a good live service game for PlayStation if they done it if they would have done it right, and they would have need some beta testing or alpha testing, to get information and feedback from the players. Let's say they would have released the game, say on PS4, PS5, then they would have gotten all the feedbacks they need from both those platforms to to fix the game and improve it and get it where it needs to be. So that game could have been a live service game, because when you were playing on the PS1 and PS2, you saw the computer doing their own. It was different. You might be playing as, say, Sweet Tooth, but the computer now, where the computers were like other combat cars that was on a track, and they were all over that track. So you had to search and find them. So and plus they were going in different directions. So I could see that game being a live service game. So this article talks about they I think they said they cancel some live service games. It says here, where is it? See if I can find out. It says to Sony PlayStation game division has since aggressively slashed its live service plan in a bid to reduce costs and boost its operating margin. Well, to reduce costs, well, video games. I mean, every year the development price of video games go up. Every year, it does. It doesn't stay the same. So, some of their games can be live service, and when it comes to console gaming, you have to have balance. And what I mean by that, you can have your single player games, you can have your single player games, you can have your multiplayer games, you can have your co-op games, and you can have your live service games. So you got to have balance, but also variety too. So some of their games that that started off on the PlayStation 1, I mean, they could have been could be live service. For instance, say even Gran Turismo could have been a live service if it's done right. So yeah, it could have been like say like how Forza Horizon is, where you got all different kind of players across the world playing on the same game. So yeah, some of their games can be live service though. So, but them canceling the Twisted Metal, especially right now when it's needed right now too, in the PlayStation, I think the last Twisted Metal they made on a PlayStation console was probably PlayStation 3. That was the last time they made one. So I think the PS4 didn't have a Twisted Metal, and now the PlayStation 5. So to get news that this game was canceled now, it's like, yeah, yeah. Sony got probably some explanation to do about it. So I'm sure the fans are going to ask them about it. Because yeah, they had Twisted Metal had a following from the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. And even PlayStation 3 had a following. So yeah, this article is on TwigTown, by the way, so I'll leave the link in the description box. But yeah, Twisted Metal could have been a live service game, because when you were playing on the PS1, PS2, or the 3, the computer, you saw the computer going all over the place. Now imagine you use imagine if you replace the computer player with a human player, it would have worked, but they cut a lot of their live service game to probably to like they said in the article, they cut what's this? They slashed its live service plan in a bid to reduce costs and boost operating margins. Yeah, Sony for you. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal Star Wars Star Trek thing. Go. Peace. Where's the... Oh, here we go. Remote.